Streaky who? Streaky who?
Oh, beer
We'll do it right on the full time.
Have to wait till Johnson does his fucking little.
Yeah, buzzing. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ROKER RAPPORT Podcast in association with the Sunderland Community Soup Kitchen. You join us bang on full time in the Stadium of Light as we've just beat Portsmouth 1-0. And I'm joined by Ann Watson. Hi, Ant.
Hello, all right? How we doing?
I'm all right. I've been with you all day, mate. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Doing all right.
Yeah, and I'm also joined by Tom Albrighton. Tom, how are you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, well, we'll take that, lads. We won 1-0 against Portsmouth. It was a scrappy shit game. Sunderland weren't at the races, but we took our one chance in the game and we've got the 3 points, Ant.
Definitely, not a great game for the neutral, but we've won. We've had to win ugly, which we've not done that many times all season, but shows what happens when you sign a big fuck-off centre-half who's a shithouse.
Yeah.
That's what he's done today, and that's what's probably won us the game, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, Portsmouth they weren't great to watch, but we dealt with what they had to do, Tom, didn't we?
I didn't think the quality of the game was up to much today, to be honest. I think both sides were ropey in possession. A poor pitch, to be perfectly honest with you, which kind of dictated the game.
You've got to start with the negative, haven't you? Come on.
I do, but I do feel like we handled kind of everything Portsmouth had to throw at me. They had the best of the opening sort of 25 minutes, half an hour, but they never really threatened the goal, to be perfectly honest.
No. Hoffman didn't have a save to make.
He barely had anything to do, and anything he did have to do was really straightforward. So, for a team who was supposedly in good form and going to give her a tough game, I didn't think Portsmouth were up to much. I think, the best they were ever going to do today was a 0-0 draw, really.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I spoke to the Pompey fan from the PO forecast during the week, he didn't really fill me with hope about how Portsmouth would play. They were pretty poor, to be honest, but I'm not really bothered about how they played. I'm more bothered about how we played. And to be fair to Sunderland, we had to battle today. Like, one thing that's been missing in that last 3 games, and where we've been poor and we haven't picked up wins, we haven't had that fight about us, or we haven't had enough fight about us. Today, 100% today, I thought we battled pretty well. All right, there were 1 or 2 players who weren't great, but, and we'll get onto that, but I actually think, generally speaking, we battled pretty well today.
Definitely, especially in the second half where we defended the lead really, really well. I think, as what Tom just said there, Hoffman's not had a save to make, really, has he? So, it's a massive, massive win, but the fighting qualities there of, like I say, Bart. I thought Callum Doyle today was absolutely amazing.
We've got to reserve some appreciation for Callum Doyle today. Wow. He was outstanding today. That's probably, for me, his best game in the Sunderland shirt.
Right, we've seen him all season, how good he is, as a ball-playing defender. Today we saw how good he was as an actual defender. He was phenomenal. But like I say, I keep on going back to Bart as well. I think Bart led the line really, really well. We've restricted Portsmouth to nothing. They've not had a chance in the game. Not really had a shot at target at Hoffman. We took our chances. It was a scrappy game, but we showed amazing fight there, especially in the second half, just to see that 3 points home, which is what we should have done last week against Accrington, which we didn't do, but what we did, I said to you last week, Gav, game management. Today, game management was absolutely superb.
I'll be fair, first half I went into half-time and I was really disappointed with how we played. I thought Sunderland in the main were poor today in the first half. And we came out second half, and clearly there'd been words between the players and the coaching staff, because we came out second half, Tom, and we had a proper battle and performance about. I'm not saying that we were outstanding, but I think that we were pretty good.
We looked dogged, which is the first time we've really looked that all season. I think I think there's been a lot of questions in regards to whether Sunderland can grind out results. We know we can blow teams away, we know we can outplay teams, but we haven't seen it enough this season where we can grind out wins in tight, scrappy games where your chances are few and far between. So I think it's a really good monkey off the back of the players to prove that they can do it. And I think, you can't really speak highly enough of Bart's debut today, to be honest. I think for a player, it's quite clear he's dropped down a division. You can see his reading of the game's very good. Didn't really miss out on headers or anything like that. He was really strong. And it's that calm and presence at the back which helps, which allows players like Doyle to really thrive, because you're allowing him to not have to defend too much, but you're also allowing him to bring the ball out the back and play, these nifty diagonal balls and long balls in behind the centre-backs, which he does so well. So it complements the side well. And I just think, like you say, it was a dogged performance from everyone involved. So it's nice to see we get over the line in a scrappy game, because these have been the games where we're thrown away too often.
100%. And yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. We're just ordering a beer.
Andrea's here.
Yes, Andrea. Andrea, come on. We'll get Andrea from the Soup Kitchen's with us.
Hello.
You're looking good, Pet. How are you doing?
Why, I've had a great day. What a match, eh?
Aye.
No, what a result.
Do you think we played well?
Well, it was a little bit monotonous at times,
yes,
but good result. And I did tell Lee Johnson, if he's got Soup Kitchen look on his side, we'll keep winning, and we kept winning. So it's our fault. It's our fault.
So we got the 3 points. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. To us, that's all that's
What
important.
have you been up
stage.
to today then? Because we haven't seen you today. We've been in the box. Anyone listening who doesn't know, me, Ant and Tom, we've been in a box with the rest of the guys. You've been away somewhere else, haven't you?
I've had the apprentice footballers with me.
Right.
And Kevin Ball. There's been me, Kevin Ball.
So you've been with Bally?
We have. He's been an absolute
What did Bally
superstar.
make of the game?
To be honest, he had his family with him, and it was just, we're all discussing tactics and all that sort of stuff. And old times when we all used to watch when it was a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more... Yeah, so it's been good tactical talk and just really enthusiastic to get the team to win. Fabulous.
Well, I'll let you go get a drink, Andrea.
Aye, go on, because you've
We'll
had
crack
plenty
on.
to
We'll
drink.
oh, we've had plenty. Thank you very much, by the way.
Not enough.
Well, not enough. We'll talk about the goal very briefly. I thought that Raggett was there to be got out. Not just Raggett, but the whole Portsmouth defence. They didn't look comfortable when they did have the ball in their own half. And we pressed them. We caused them to lose the ball. The ball eventually fell to, I think, Ross Stewart. Stewart feeds in. And to be fair, considering the position he was in on the edge of the box, lovely finish, Ant.
Good finish on his wrong foot, but it was coming, wasn't that kind of mistake was coming from Raggett, because I think Diaco had it earlier on and probably should have squared it for Stewart. But as soon as we pressed them, when we looked like we wanted to press them, they were making a lot of mistakes. Got to be honest about Portsmouth, I'm not sure they play the Cowley way. Cowley likes to play from the back like what we like to do. Not sure Portsmouth are that kind of team. They definitely haven't got the personnel at the back for that. Raggett looked very, very shaky all game, didn't he?
Very poor football inside of Portsmouth. I was an advocate for maybe bringing in the Cowleys kind of when we were going through that.
Cowley Nance.
Yeah, that transitional phase. I thought they offered something, but you see what they've done with Portsmouth is they really wouldn't have offered the kind of revolution that we've had in what we've seen in the Sunderland side. We've seen the side change and come on leaps and bounds. We play football the way people want to see football played. Cowleys are coming to Portsmouth. It just looks like they're playing the same football that every manager before was playing, So I was actually a little bit disappointed with him. I was expecting to see a little bit more. But if Portsmouth, like say, if you're going to give us the chance to press you, put your centre-backs under pressure and feed off mistakes, because we've got the quality in the final third, where we'll say you're off quite happily with that. As I would say, sort of 1 in 3 chances, we'll finish. And I don't think many teams in this division had finished kind of 1 in 3 clear-cut chances. So you just, playing out from the back with players like Raggett, who's just like a donkey with a ball at his feet. You're just asking for it, really. So it's a bit neglectful on their half. But, as we've done with homework, obviously, we pressed it whenever he had the ball, didn't press it when we didn't need to. So you can't say fairer than that, can you?
And does somebody want to just pull up the league table as we stand? I don't know where we are.
The internet's dreadful.
the internet is dreadful inside. We're inside the sol at the minute. We're just sort of sitting outside of our box. if you didn't know we're in a box today. We're sort of flexing today.
I have a mention for Corey Evans today as well.
Oh, yeah,
Corey Evans
100%.
He went very under the radar today. I thought he was very good. I think he disrupted play very well. He distributed it as best he could on a fairly poor pitch, to be honest. I mean, the pitch was chewed up at half time and he seemed to negotiate it very well. And I think for a player coming back from what was a really nasty head injury, and a player who suffered that head injury before and almost had to retire, to come back and be as fighting as what he is, he didn't shake a single thing. He was front and centre of everything. And I think sometimes you've got to take your hat off and see he didn't do the sort of box office football, but he did the dirty work and he did it very, very well.
Yeah. The league table as it stands, Anne's got in front of us here. Sunderland second in League One with 54 points. Second behind Wigan. Wigan are top of the division with 4 games in hand on Sunderland. I guess we'll see how things pan out with Wigan. I'm not convinced that they will manage those games effectively, but we will find out. All we can do at the minute is just hope that Sunderland keep it up. As we look out onto the pitch at the minute, there's a few players sprinting up and down. I think I can see Trey Hume, Aidan O'Brien and Carl Winchester being run up and down by the fitness coach, so they're making sure they get some minutes in their legs and they warm things off. But yeah,
football you don't see, isn't it?
It is. It's the side of football you don't see.
You look at Winchester, who come on. I think even O'Brien, they come on. They played a good little role there for the 10-15 minute cameos, and they're out here and they're putting in the hard yards, sprinting up and down the pitch. So I don't think you can question the commitment and the effort of the players, especially considering we had this little sticky patch again and had to fight hard to kind of come out of it today.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's end on that then. There'll be a review show tomorrow, I think, with Nick Barnes, so people can listen out with that. I am worse for wear. I've had 2 bottles of wine and about 10 bottles of beer, so we'll end it on that before I say anything daft.
Who's your favourite player, Gav?
I'm not letting anyone know my favourite players. But cheers, everybody.
Tom Flanagan and all.
It's definitely not Tom Flanagan. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you all later. Bye-bye.
Where am I going? I don't know. Where am I heading? I ain't certain all alone.